Hey, I want to give you a quick review or kind of an overview, I guess, of something I just got in. And I was kind of working on a project today. In fact, I was working on this guy, which is the Tippmann M4. I just got one of these in. I'm working on a big review of this. And I was thinking, the Tippmann itself, it's a fun gun. I enjoy it so far. But the rail itself is plastic. And that's always been like, the first thing I noticed was like, really, man, I wish it didn't have a plastic rail. Good news is I had a rail sitting around waiting for the perfect project, and that's what I want to talk about here with you guys. And it is the PTS Mega Arms Wedge Lock rail here, and that's what this one is. So it's 14 inches long, and it goes on in a really interesting way. And I want to show you guys, I actually did the install. I figured I might as well record it for you so you guys can see the steps I went through. So when you do a rail swap, if you guys have never done it before, it's not incredibly challenging, but you can run into some pitfalls. So there are a few little gotchas. So first thing you gotta do is get your original rail off, and that's gonna be your biggest trick here, is getting the first one off. Fortunately with the Tippmann, it is kind of a standard old school rail, so you can pull the little delta ring back, it's spring loaded, you can pop the two plastic pieces off, and at least it gets you that far. Then you've gotta start working on the other bits. So what I went ahead and did was I used my AR tool, which is actually really important if you guys do a lot of these installs, because you can get in there and get it apart. You can go to a shop and pick these up. You can find the AR tools online. In fact, if you guys want, I'll actually put a link to like where I got mine. I got mine on Amazon.com, actually pretty cheap. I think it was like under 15 or under 20 bucks to get it shipped to your door. So I'll put a link down there to the one I have. I just picked up if you guys want to have one. It's a nice tool to have around because it does more than just the rail. It kind of does a couple other bits like around here in the back, around the buffer tube, the actual castle nut on it to tighten it up if you have a gun that does require tightening on that. But anyway, enough about the tool. Let's get back to the rail. So you take all that off, you get the delta ring off, and then you can remove the barrel. The good thing on the Tippmann is I gotta take the hop up back a little bit, which is the screw here on the side, right here behind the desk cover. It's at 45. You back it out, and you can pop the whole barrel assembly off. On this one, it's kind of weird. They get like a two-piece barrel nut washer on there, and it kind of falls off. So yours won't have that. Yours typically just has the regular ring. So when I had that all the way off, then it was getting that front sight post off, which in this case was Allen keys. A couple Allen keys took that piece off, slid the plastic part off, and now I'm good to go with a bare barrel. Start putting the gun back together. Put everything on and realized at first, man, the barrel's wobbly. So I needed to back everything off. So I took the actual barrel nut back off, which is the nut that attaches toward the body here, holds the barrel on and all that before you put the rail on. So it goes up underneath. And I fortunately had some shims sitting around. Now, any other gun aside from the Tippmann, you're probably not going to have to worry about this at all. This is only specific to Tippmann because of the way they do it. You'll need those shims. You will not need them on a standard AG if you're gonna put them on pretty much just about any other brand, and that's why they don't even put them in the box. There's no point, because this thing is designed to work without it. I just have a very unique situation here when I'm putting it on. So once I had that on, barrel nuts on, I did tighten it down. I found I used my AR tool. Instead of using the regular piece, I was able to flip it around. The part that works for this here on the back for your buffer tube nut, I was able to use to tighten down the nut up here, which actually helped a lot. Nice and snug, barrel's all good to go now. Then it's time to start putting everything back together. So now I slide the wedge lock rail on, and the way this works is it's got this little piece that it's like two angular pieces, and it sits in there, and then you actually just literally slide it and tap it in place once you get the rail on. The rail slides right on. You kind of tap this little thing down with, I use a jewelry hammer, and then you tighten it up with the screw to set it in place, and that's it. One screw holds it in. They do have two small set screws on the side. I went ahead and tightened those down a little bit too. Didn't feel like I needed to, but I went ahead and did it anyway, and this thing is now on here absolutely rock solid. Probably one of the easiest rail installs I have done. So to tap it off, I got a Griffin comp here on the front. I just had that sitting around. I figured I might as well throw it on. I've been, again, waiting for a project. And the new PTS Enhanced Polymer Backup Iron Sights, front and rear. So that's how I've kind of PTS'd this thing out. Through a G&G short dot here, kind of a variable optic. It's not really a short dot technically, but threw that on there. And then I've got the new PTS Enhanced Polymer stock. So I kind of PTS this sucker tip to toe. The rail itself is good. Oh, one thing I did forget to mention to you though, there is a fake gas block in here. You can choose not to put it on. It's kind of cosmetic in most cases. So once you get the rail on, before you put the flash hider on, you slide this down up under the rail. It is a little bit of a challenge to line the little end of the silver bit into the hole that's in the rail, kind of getting it lined up. A little bit of a challenge, took a few minutes. I heard it click into place, kind of drop into that nice little hole. And then through the bottom here, a little Allen key, and tightened it right down and hold it in place. Again, like I said, you can see it here through the rail. It's that lighter gray piece right through this section. But again, it's not required. What I do like about this rail a lot, and this is why I've been waiting for a project, a couple things. One, if you have a 14.5-inch outer barrel, look how perfect it finishes this thing off. It's just barely kissing there at the parts. I mean, I love that flush cut look. It is absolutely kind of like just the perfect length. I was worried it was gonna be a little bit extra barrel showing. When I got it on here, I was super excited about how it turned out. And then it's the trimness of the rail. Because we're looking at M-LOK all the way up and down, and you've got M-LOKs at the 45s up here at the top. You got M-LOKs on the 90s on the side, and then M-LOKs on the actual direct bottom here at the rail. So they're all the way around. You've got the ability to put whatever rail panels you want. All you have to do is just go pick up some M-LOK rail panels and toss them on here. They're not included in the kit, so it's up to you to pick those up if you want to do it. On the top, you do get that big, like huge Picatinny rail, the nice holes here detailing. Basically, it's exactly the same as the Mega Arms rail. I mean, 1-to-1, with the exception of this for airsoft use only here on the bottom side, the PTS logo, down to the PTS Mega Arms logo here on the sides. So that's it for the PTS Mega Arms rail. It is on the pricier end, so heads up, if you guys are looking to pick one of these things up, it is well north of $100, so it is not going to be a budget rail by any stretch of the imagination. But that pretty much to me is the big downside on this. I mean, it is a chunk of money and is wallet eating, but if you want a very lightweight rail that looks, in my opinion, just sleek, clean, super easy on the hands, nice trademarks, and like I said, very, very light, and it gives you that new M-LOK that everybody's going to. Definitely take a look at the PTS Mega Arms Wedge Lock rail. Again, probably one of the easiest rails I've ever installed on a gun. Thank goodness, except for the few things I had to do to get it off my gun, but actually putting it on, super easy. And of course, you guys want to know more about this, I will have a link in the description below so you can check it out as always. So, gotta ask you a question. Rails and all, when you buy a new gun, do you go all out and get new rails and go crazy with it? Or do you usually stick with the rail that comes with the gun? Or maybe you buy a gun with the rail? I wanna know what you guys do. And also, what do you think? I wanna know what your comments and thoughts are on this. Also, if you guys haven't done it already, I would love to have you subscribe, mash that sub button, and you'll get updates. I do 3 videos a week, every single week, including a Q&A show every single Mondays. But anyways, guys, thanks a bunch. And until next time, go out, play some Airsoft, have some fun. But no matter what you do, call your freaking hits.